actors on stage in Les Miserables command the attention of the audience. But below stage, a performance you won't see, but you'll definitely hear.
They're completely allowed to be actors up there because they know there are musicians there to follow rather than a click track that they have to follow.
With live music, if there's a special moment happening on stage that for some nights takes longer than other nights, we can bend and go with that actor and support him even more.
My name is Jean Valjean, and I am Javert. Do not forget my name.
That big sound of support comes from the pit orchestra. Long before the curtain rises on the show, 8 musicians have found their way to their seats, down a narrow corridor to the pit below the stage. One of them is pianist and conductor Martha Yordi.
My role as conductor in Les Mis is to keep actors and orchestra together. So the audience hears us at the same time and in sync.
Yordi has spent 30 years crafting her musical theater experience, including 12 years at Loretto Heights College. She's currently the opera accompanist at the University of Denver. Her passion is for musical theater and what the live musical performance brings to a production. With Les Mis, music couldn't be more important. Yordi says as conductor, she'll do all she can to honor the direction of musical director David Nels.
Is this right? Yep.
The character of the music to me is a pop opera. We have no dialogue. All the dialogue is sung. So I would most definitely consider it an opera in the pop musical form.
The small orchestra makes the most of this big musical score. We checked in with them during their early rehearsals, both in the pit and in the Black Box Theater, where cast members joined musicians for a seated run-through, commonly called a sitzprobe in theater circles. It's a time for musicians and actors to feel their way through the music and make adjustments.
Hold on a second.
It's on the 4, right?
You're right. I've been thinking there's a breath, and I don't know the one.
With only 8 musicians, every note and instrument counts.
We have 2 violins down there.
Deborah Fuller is new to Denver, but not to the national music scene. She has toured with Phantom of the Opera and Miss Saigon and carries a classical music background. While Jean Bolger performs with an Irish group named Colcannon that's well known for its Celtic music. Jean has played at many shows at the Arvada Center.
They'll both be playing violin, but one of them will be playing a special violin that's called an octave violin. And that actually is tuned an octave lower, or 8 full steps lower than a real violin, so that we'll be able to hear lower sounds like what a cello would make or a viola.
A bass position rounds out the string section and is shared by 2 veterans of Arvada Center Productions, John Cullison and Brian Knott. Another veteran of Arvada Center Productions, Harry Granger, covers all the woodwinds with one special instrument.
We have an instrument called an iwi, which is an electronic woodwind instrument, and it is playing oboe, clarinet, all the woodwinds.
We'll have another keyboard player on synthesizer.
That's Longmont teacher Les Dwyer.
He is playing 2 keyboards, and he's playing harp, and he's playing a bunch of instruments.
We'll have a trumpet.
Terry Sawchuk shares that position with another trumpet player, Don Kramer. They've both played lots of touring shows that have come through Denver.
And the trumpet's going to have to do a lot of things to cover different places.
And as the sole percussionist in the orchestra, the Arvada Center's Keith Ewer will be very busy.
The drum set part speaks for itself, just playing your normal drum set. But then the percussionist gets to play xylophone, vibraphone, chimes, bells, timpani, and myriad other little toys. And so I'm busy making all those parts work together so that I can hit the timpani at the same time as I'm doing something on the drum set. And so for all of us in the pit, that's going to be the challenge.
Keith plays everything. Keith, as far as I'm concerned, holds the pit together.
But But Ewer says the conductor is the one who has the pulse of the play from her vantage point in a small cutout on the stage.
She'll be able to see the actors and be able to cue them in on certain things, so she'll constantly be conducting, but she'll also be playing piano at the same time. And with Martha, everything happens from her nose, or at least as a percussionist, when I'm watching her, I watch where her nose is and I know where the beat is.
There are a lot of changing tempos, and that's my biggest challenge.
In the pit, we'll be almost non-stop playing, and that's always exciting. As musicians, we don't look at it as in, oh my gosh, we have to play so many notes and stuff, but it's the busier we are, the happier we are. This show will make us very happy.
For I had come to hate the world.
We need to show the audience the story, let them feel the story, and the musicians and the music, that's what makes that happen.